They said he was the next Messi, the boy who could break every record.
Yamal, recuerdo lo lave y Vane cuando era niño y es una sensación maravillosa que ahora esté jugando en Barcelona. Creo que es el mejor jugador del mundo actualmente, a pesar de su corta edad. Espero que no hagan la comparación que hacen los medios y los periódicos entre Yamal y yo, porque ni siquiera yo, cuando tenía su edad, podía hacer lo que él está haciendo ahora. Él está solo. Y creo que lo hará. Conseguir muchos balones de oro, pero claro que no me pueden seguir a...
Cristiano once said, talent gets you noticed, but discipline keeps you there. He is only 17 years old. I repeat, he is a boy with a lot of room for progression. He's a phenomenon.
Lamine Yamal. Like, what do you see in this young player?
I see huge potential, great talent. He need luck because he's very young. I hope he not gets some problems. But
he's something even you or Messi has never done. 16 years old.
Yes, he was in contests that helped him a lot. The Spain national team is really good.
Coaches who'd worked with him at Masia insisted, I haven't seen a player like him since Leo, and we all know what that means. However, Lionel Messi said talent is not enough. You can be gifted, but football demands more than gifts. So, what happens when a wonder boy, blessed with both, neglects the burden that comes with them? This is the story of Lamine Yamal, from unstoppable to uncertain. He was barely 15 when Barcelona threw him straight into the fire. Testing the waters? No, testing destiny. A child who joined La Masia at just 7 and raced through the age categories faster than anyone of his generation, with fearless dribbles and impossible confidence. A kid who made legends look slow. Barcelona had been warning us for years a storm was coming, a new wave of talent, and one name whispered above the rest: the next Lionel Messi. The forward had barely touched the pitch for the under-19s before Xavi Hernandez himself called him to train with the first team. Then came April 2023, the night everything changed. Just 15 years old, stepping onto the field in a 4-0 win against Real Betis, the youngest player ever to represent Barca, breaking a record untouched since 1922. Any guesses who that was? Drop it in the comments. That historic night, every football legend watching knew the next big thing had just arrived: Lamine Yamal. La Masia's golden boy played like he was born under stadium lights. We're talking about a footballer that can define the era of this club, said Xavi after the match. But is he really that good? The game that gave us the answer came in August 2023, Villarreal away. He didn't score that night, but he owned the right wing. In a wild 4-3 win, the 15-year-old looked fearless and named player of the match. 12 days later, history knocked again. Yamal made his international debut for Spain, becoming the youngest ever player in a crushing 7-1 Euro 2024 qualifier against Georgia. And yes, of course he scored, Spain's 7th in the 74th minute. Beauty. But still, that wasn't the moment the world would chant his name. You know the one we're hinting at. Football lovers surely do. The European Championship. That's where the boy became a phenomenon. The deeper Spain went into the Euros, the louder his name echoed across the globe. Then came the turning point, a breathtaking semi-final against France. A stunning goal from a 16-year-old, perfect and unforgettable, turned the game around as Spain won 2-1 to reach the Euro 2024 final, the youngest goalscorer in European Championship history. Player of the match? Who else? Lamine Yamal. And then the final against England, the world holding its breath, wondering how a kid who turned 17 just a day before would handle it all. His electric link-up with Nico Williams, his tournament high 4 assists, and his composure under pressure made one thing clear: Lamine Yamal was a dream boy for all clubs. But sometimes the spotlight burns brighter than the star itself. So, what exactly went wrong? And when did it all start to fall apart? The Meteor rise to the warning signs. He shattered records: youngest goal, youngest assist, youngest player to make defenders look like ghosts. For a while, he wasn't the future of football. He was football. But history has taught us one thing: talent alone never makes a legend. The real question is, will Lamine Yamal become one of the greats, or just another wasted prodigy? During the 2024-25 season, he made 55 appearances for Barcelona, scoring 18 goals and delivering 25 assists across all competitions. There's no other way to describe it. Yamal was unreal. In the Champions League semi-final against Inter, he carried the team on his back. It was his 100th appearance for the club at just 16, and he scored a wonder goal in one of the most magical comebacks of the season. The next morning, every newspaper had one face on the front page: Yamal's. The world had started whispering the same two words: Ballon d'Or. And soon, it wasn't just talk. In August 2025, he made the 30-man shortlist for the Ballon d'Or. A month later, he became the first player ever to win the Copa Trophy twice in a row and finish second in the Ballon d'Or rankings. But here's the catch: when a star shines too bright, too young, sometimes it burns out faster than anyone expects. And lately, it feels like the fame is getting to his head a little too quickly. The body language, the arrogance on the pitch, the way he reacts to teammates, it's starting to look bad. Someone needs to remind Yamal that football has buried countless wonderkids who thought they were untouchable. Talent gets you there, but only discipline and humility keep you there. And with fame comes attention, and with attention comes the spotlight. The one that never turns off can destroy you before your story even begins. Because if he doesn't bring that ego back down to earth soon, he risks becoming just another story of wasted potential. The warning signs are there. The spotlight might be getting the best of him. The fame that's starting to destroy him. The brand deals, the selfies, the noise. The boy who once loved football now seems to love being famous more. And that's the scary part. The ego, arrogance, the feeling that he can say and do whatever he wants because, well, he's Lamine Yamal. But too much of anything can become a problem. He's acting like the world is against him, replying to critics, clapping back on socials, and that's dangerous territory for a player this young. So, when did it all start? Welcome to 2025, the year that turned Lamine Yamal from football's golden boy into the center of controversy, arrogance, and chaos. It all began in March 2025, the now infamous pants-down celebration, red flag number 1. Spain had just beaten the Netherlands in the UEFA Nations League quarter-finals. Former Dutch international Rafael van der Vaart had criticized Yamal's attitude, saying his shorts were too low, his style too cocky, his demeanor too respectful. So, what did Yamal do? He went online after the match and posted, "Shorts down, a goal, a missed penalty, and into the semi-finals. Come on, Spain." Savage? Maybe. Smart? Not at all. Because that kind of reaction doesn't show confidence, it shows ego. He should have just let his football do the talking, but instead, the headlines weren't about his goal, they were about his attitude, and it didn't stop there. Before every game, Yamal started posting Instagram stories, trolling opponents, mocking critics, acting like he had something to prove to everyone. Then came Portugal. During the UEFA Nations League final in Munich, he appeared to snub Cristiano Ronaldo's handshake during the medal ceremony, another big red flag. As Yamal walked past, cameras caught it all. No eye contact, no respect, nothing. And when Portugal received their medals, every Spanish player clapped, except Yamal. Headphones on, straight to the dressing room. That's not passion, that's pride. And pride has ended more careers than injury ever could. Even Adil Rami, former French international, spoke out, saying he'd lost respect for Yamal after that moment, and honestly, he wasn't alone. Then came June 2025, when things truly spiraled. Fresh off that Nations League defeat, Yamal took a break, but instead of peace and quiet came scandal. He was spotted on vacation with influencer Fatim Vasquez, who, by reports, was 30 years old. Yamal, just 17. That's insane. And let's be honest, if this had happened in the US, someone would be behind bars. But wait, it gets worse. His 18th birthday party became the final straw. A full-blown mafia-themed bash packed with influencers, rappers, teammates, all paid for by Yamal. But that wasn't the issue. Reports claimed that entertainers with dwarfism were hired for comic effect, sparking outrage across Spain. Disability rights groups condemned the act. The Spanish Ministry of Social Rights even launched an official investigation into whether the event violated national disability laws. Think about that. From breaking records to breaking the law, all before turning 18. And Yamal's response? He laughed it off, called it an attempt to tarnish his image. But this isn't a media setup, it's self-sabotage. The fame, the power, the spotlight, it's all getting too heavy too soon. Because the same fans who lifted him up are now starting to turn on him. He used to be the kid that let football speak for him. Now, it's his mouth and actions doing the talking, and they're drowning him faster than any defender ever could. Lamine Yamal's talent made the world fall in love, but his ego? It might be the very thing that destroys him, and it still continues. The fall no one saw coming. August 2025, another headline, another red flag. Lamine Yamal and Robert Lewandowski fined €5,000 each by UEFA for violating anti-doping procedures. Why? Because instead of heading directly to the testing room after the match, they showed up late. A small mistake? Maybe. But in football, discipline is everything, and this was reckless. A breach of protocol and a pure lack of professionalism. And then things got worse. By September, Yamal's problems weren't just with UEFA, they were inside his own dressing room. Reports claim tension between him, his coach, and even his teammates. Some players reportedly refused to play alongside him because of his ego and overconfidence. Barcelona officials even called a private meeting with his agent, Jorge Mendes, warning him that the club needed greater commitment and discipline from Yamal, both on and off the pitch. They told him straight, you can't always act as you please, respect the team, respect the rules. But did he listen? Of course not. Then came Coach Hansi Flick's warning, ego kills success. A message directed at the entire squad, but everyone knew who he meant. And what did Yamal do? He fired back. He said it wasn't about ego, it was about intensity, and that he doesn't care about criticism from outside his close circle. But come on, kid, when your coach speaks, that's your inner circle. That's who's supposed to shape you. And then came October 2025, the month everything collapsed. Spanish newspaper El Nacional reported anger inside Barcelona's locker room, teammates furious over Yamal's attempt to influence decisions. He reportedly demanded control over free kicks, penalties, and playing time. Seriously, at 18, acting like a veteran, demanding privileges as if he's untouchable? That kind of behavior doesn't just stain your reputation, it breaks your locker room. Then came the final explosion, the Madrid comment, the one that lit the fuse on his already burning reputation. They steal, they complain. Those 4 words changed everything. Before El Clasico, Yamal accused Real Madrid of being thieves, disrespectful, unnecessary. And this time, it wasn't just the fans who were furious, it was the entire Real Madrid squad. The Bernabeu crowd turned the match into war. Every time Yamal touched the ball, the whistles grew louder. Players like Dani Carvajal and Vinicius Jr. confronted him face-to-face after the final whistle. He crossed a line that even Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta never touched during the heated Mourinho-Guardiola era. And then, the unthinkable. Carvajal publicly declared, "I'd rather spend the whole year on the bench than play another minute with him. Every time I see him on the field, I feel like I'm betraying my career and my honor." Spain's locker room exploded. Radio Masia reported that Yamal had ruined the harmony of the national team. The Golden Boy had become a ghost haunting his teammates. On-field confrontations, social media taunts, flashy lifestyles, it's all too many red flags to count. The hate grew louder, the headlines uglier, until Barcelona finally stepped in. The club officially cut him off from media appearances, trying to control the damage. And then came the final blow. Lamine Yamal was diagnosed with chronic pubalgia, a condition doctors say can never be fully cured. He's already missed 5 matches this season, and the whispers are getting louder. They're saying this could be it, that Lamine Yamal, the boy who made the world believe again, might never return to 100%. The brand deals, the noise, the spotlight, it all became too much. Now, the Wonderkid who once played like the future of football might just become another name lost to history. Because sometimes, the saddest downfall isn't when a player loses form, it's when he loses himself. That's all for tonight. Tell us what you think. Will Lamine Yamal rise above the chaos and rule the game for years to come? Or fade away as another passing star lost to fame and pressure? Before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more football stories.